Hey, everybody! It's early because Nick doesn't have much time, but you know what time it is. It's
This Week in Comics, This Week in Comics, This Week in Comics, This Week in Comics, yeah.
This Week in Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
I
up,
wish that-
everybody?
There was a way that we could have us, like that's playing, but then there's little boxes and you can see us. So you can see me doing a bunch of shots and,
Yeah.
you
And you just hoping everything keeps playing.
you're just sitting here just like,
Oh, God.
you smoke an entire cigarette. You're just like,
Yes. Yeah. What's up, Wes?
Hey, Wes.
It's an extra special late night. We're almost at breakfast burrito. Hi, Chaos.
Because I
still
have
haven't
the Scott
adjusted
Snyder
to the time yet?
Substack tonight. At
Or Nick
2:40.
has a class, and it's actually 8:47 our time. It's one of those two.
And there weren't many books that I read this week.
I read 7 books today,
I read
so not a ton.
3.
It wasn't a heavy week for me, and that was everything except for Nightwing. I haven't gotten to Nightwing because I didn't go to the shop.
Actually, yesterday I read 2, and today I read 1. If you want to be,
Here we go.
I didn't even read 3 today. It was really busy.
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
Hey, but think of it this way: by the time you get used to it, it'll probably be time to come home.
perfect. And then you won't know what's what anymore. Hey, what's up, Game Paul? Yeah,
And our
happens
shop
welcome
didn't get
to the
well,
holidays.
you might have read some of the image ones, but our shop had I only had 4. I had 4 image books, and 2 of them were delayed a week or two, and then the other 2 were damaged. So I didn't get any image books this week, which is sad because there were some really good ones.
I got to read some image books. So let's start. We have 12 minutes. Let's do this thing.
Or so.
We can do it.
A little late.
So one of my favorite books that have been coming out recently is Clear from Scott Snyder in Comixology. Number 3 came out today, and this book, I totally called it. I love this book, and it just keeps going more and more in a direction that I'm super into. And this issue went even deeper, and I'm just super into it. I just wanted to keep getting deeper and deeper and let's see how much I can say deeper. But I love it. I think it's great, and I'm super into it.
Did you read Ghoul?
I did read Ghoul.
Near the Ghoul? You read that one too?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten to him yet. We were slammed today.
I also read the Ghoul number 3 from Scott Snyder.
I was going to ask if you are able to rank them or if they're too different to really compare in that way.
Clear Ghoul.
Yeah? You like Clear better?
That's still
okay.
That's how
I'm interested to see how I am because I always thought Clear would have the best payoff over 3.
It was a good Ghoul issue.
Right now, the Ghoul is like my number 1, which I didn't expect it to be.
That's cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Nice.
Because the premise got me, and then Scott layered so much onto it after issue 1. Way more depth. That's a big bummer.
Mine.
Speaking of,
mine is not too bad.
One Dark Knight, number 1.
I thought it was on the edge here, but it's just the bag.
That's cool.
What do you think? Oh, man. I really liked it. I didn't know anything about it other than that it's written and drawn by Jacques. And I loved his Green Arrow with Diggle. And I loved his Witches that he did with Snyder. So I was definitely in for this. It's just 3 issues, but it's the big prestige size. And he introduces a new villain in this one who's pretty cool.
Ooh,
and
cool. That's neat.
It kind of has a little bit of a slow start, I think, but then it's a really cool setup. This is one of my favorite number 1s that I've read this year. as a number one, where I'm like, ready for number two. Like
Jacques' artwork is tough to beat.
Now.
It's super unique, when you see it, and it's really
solid.
And
there's so much stuff that
got any non-spoiler-y thing that we can, like a first page? Can we see the first page?
I mean, first page is just a newspaper in the.
Look at that Jacques art.
Yeah,
look cool.
Page two is all right, I think.
Oh, there we go.
It's got
a little character design in it. Cool.
He always does like a little subtle overlay on a lot of pages and stuff too that he does.
Put a veil on it.
It's cool, but it's definitely has so there's a new villain and Batman is like escorting he's watching an escort for like a prisoner being moved from like Arkham to Blackgate kind of a thing, and like it's not going well. But the the 3-issue arc is the time frame of one night in Gotham.
Yeah, I knew that much.
So it's cool. I'm excited for more.
I'm into it.
They had a really pretty 1 in 25 cover.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard not to buy it, even though I really want to, but I want to get the trade. So I'll probably, but at least it's only 3, easier to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of easier to get to, what's really easy to get me into a book? Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips working on it, and it being called That Texas Blood, especially when it's a Christmas special. Oh my God.
Oh, that's right.
So good. It was so good. I fucking loved this book. Holy shit.
And if you are a trade waiter, you need to buy this one because this one will not be in trade.
Yeah, I'm getting this one because there is no trade. This is it.
Yeah. Maybe if there was ever a hardcover, it would get pulled
maybe it would get thrown in somewhere. But yeah, it's not. It is a Christmas special. It is its own thing.
I'm really excited for that one.
On our review copy, it said it was number 13. So I don't know if they're actually picking up the number structure or if Image just did that, and who knows. So it might be a real 13, or it could just be a one-off and they just called it that. But oh my God, it was great. It was awesome. And it was a really cool story. It was really interesting. It had me the whole time. And it was a really fucking good time. Being in that town, enjoying the story. It's great. It's awesome. Easy grab. If you've been wondering about That Texas Blood, there is no spoilers at all in this book for the previous 2 volumes. So it'd be a really awesome way to have a condensed story, see if you like the art, the pacing, the storytelling, what they're going. And if that interests you, then boom, it's an easy check out.
The idea of it reminds me of Volume 1, Issue 1, where it's kind of a standalone story within the world, and named after you. And so you can just grab the same thing. If you saw Issue 1, you can grab that and read it, and it's a self-contained story, but it's within everything. So it's cool to see that kind of happen again with.
Yeah, it is. I like that, and Nick's got class, so we're going short. It's our style.
I was going to address this one too. It's definitely he's definitely a plot device, but it's an interesting one at least so far.
Cool. A book that I will keep on enjoying. Holy shit! Time Before Time number 8. This book, I like it a lot. It's never super high on my list or anything, but I always enjoy it. I've yet to be disappointed by an issue, and the fact that it's 8 in and I'm still digging on it is great. Mm-hmm. Super happy that I got on board with it and then keep going.
I'm like the opposite with this one is with you, where I'm just waiting for it to be. Although I think there's a Volume 1, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. There's a Volume 1.
I should probably read Volume 1 now.
Yeah, grab that and see what you think, because I love this book. It's super fun and it's interesting. It's got some cool themes to it. This issue had some heaviness to it, but in a really cool, it really grounded the story kind of way. Big dig.
Neat.
Still trucking.
Still good.
It didn't change a lot. Impossible Jones number 2 from Scout also came out today. It's still just a fun book. It's not a lot there. It's woman who's kind of in a gray area in terms of like villain, hero, just zaniness. It was a good time. I enjoyed that. I forget who wrote it.
I remember I was excited about number 1, but then I didn't end up getting it for some reason. I don't remember what. And then our shop doesn't. I know I can probably order some. Our shop was putting up a bunch of comic tags today, which is really cool.
Oh, cool. Carl Kessel, David Hahn, Tony Avina, and Comic Craft. But yeah, it's good. Nothing crazy or anything, but it was good. And then the other scout book, I don't know. Maybe they do wingdings for. They don't swear outright, so sure.
Okay.
And then a scout number 1 that came out, A King's Vengeance. Everything is done by Peter Rick, R-I-C-Q, and it's all and Davila LeBlanc. But Peter is a created, written art, and then it's really interesting. The art style is like a Rick and Morty almost.
Okay. Oh, nice.
It's definitely like on the more mature side, like adult wise. Gets gory at some points, but the art is really cool. It's super clean for being kind of like a gross place and a lot of like not great stuff happening. It's very clean art. And number 1 is a big setup for the rest of the story, so I'm really interested to see what number 2 is like. But I dug it. It was cool. And it's pretty neat to get to see one. I like it when it's like one person's vision. It tends to just be, I don't know.
Those are a lot of my favorite books.
Yeah.
Oh, you mentioned it earlier. Nightwing was super cool this week.
Yeah.
In fact, I do have my other copy here that I let me see. It's kind of fragile a little, but it's
gotta laminate it.
I might. Right now it's just Scotch tape, but I got it was all one picture, so you can kind of see how it all leads into it. This one, don't ignore this last one because that's not the right page. But you get it.
Yeah, it all is one continuous.
Yeah. So it's basically
really cool.
like one of my all-time favorite pages in comics, but it's the entire book, which is neat. I haven't seen it done a whole lot. I know Ice Cream Man did basically that a couple weeks ago with the family tree thing that went vertical. This is a little bit more intricate for sure and changes perspective a few times, which is neat to do in a static space.
Yeah, that's neat.
And it's a pretty good issue too. It's not like a whole lot of meat to it, but it's gotten back to, I feel like it kind of dipped a little bit and it's getting back to like the lighter, happier, fun Nightwing.
With some darkness instead of mostly darkness with some light.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's good to hear because I've been excited for that to come back and I'm excited to read that. Those are all my books for the week.
That's all your books? Well, I also had House of Slaughter.
Oh no, that is also a book I read.
Number
That's
3.
right. House of Slaughter, number 3.
Yep. Which is fine. It's good. I didn't like it as much as the last one.
Happy New Comic Book Day, Steve.
There's a few things that Tynan's doing that is getting a little old to me, but it's still good.
1 and 2 were better in my opinion than 3. 3, I wasn't as excited about this issue. The pacing was weird for me. How they told the story in this issue didn't jive with me. And just
there was one page that did it really good. That had it kind of like it was left and right, and it was layered, and it was like, oh, that's cool. But then
I think
it
was more
doing it
interesting in terms of execution than it was in storytelling.
Yeah. But still good.
But yeah, it was all right. I'm still excited for 4, and I'm gonna keep reading. It wasn't like bad or anything like that.
No,
but
it wasn't like
enjoyed 1 and 2, and 3 just was lower than the other 2, which that happens in comics, especially with honestly, I get that so much with Something is Killing the Children, where I'm just like, whoop, boop, tiny dip, and then we're back.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's just going to be a trend for House of Slaughter too. It's all right. We had to start early because Nick's got class. So instead of me trying to do it on my own, we went a little early.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it. I don't have That Texas Blood is number 1. That's my easy choice.
I would give it to One Dark Night. I liked by the end of it, but for sure, I really liked where the whole setup and where it brought everything. That would be my top book. Nightwing, the art alone should maybe be number 1 because it's a cool concept, but I'd give it to Chuck.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I do. It was supposed to be last week, but they postponed it to this week.
Ooh, I'm gonna say number 5 is The Ghoul. Number 4 is A King's Vengeance. Number 3, Time Before Time. Number 2 is Clear, and number 1 is That Texas Blood.
And I'm reading this next.
Nice.
Definitely reading that next.
Cool. So yeah, there's our top books of the week.
The week in comics.
This week in comics. So happy New Comic Book Day, everybody. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Whatever you do, whatever you celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? But yeah, have a good rest of your week. Happy holidays. Be safe. And yeah, we'll check.
Stay and neuter your pets.
We won't be on Saturday, by the way.
No. Unless one of us gets drunk and hits live.
That's true.
It could happen.
We have no plans for a Saturday show, obviously. But yeah, if you see us go live, it's probably Nick, and you should tune in because it's probably going to be worth it.
It'll be a shit show.
Yep. But yeah, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
This week in comics, this week in comics, this week in comics, this week in comics.